It's not a air creating life, you know. What's up with that? I'm not sure what's the dealie. Let me see if anything's wrong. Let me see if anything's wrong. Oh, everything's working. Yeah, Butters. We back. We back. We back up in the mother freaker. Mr. Experiences fail without a healthy body. Whoa, I hear that. What were we talking about before? A lot of stuff. But I'm still gonna throw some cards for everybody out there. What's up? What's up? Anybody that comes into the chat and want to get your card, I'll throw a card for you. Let's get all messages in there. Please, no freaking trolls. But if you want to be a troll, and I got certain people looking at me. I want to say thank you very much for not being all up in my face the last couple of days. I really appreciate it. Um, but it is what it is. You know, sometimes people need stuff to do every day, and people getting paid. So I can understand. I can understand. I don't hold any grudges versus to anybody. So what's up? What's up? What's up? Pizza, donuts. We got Krispy Kremes in the motherfucking house. I got a little Krispy Kreme donut earlier. Cucumbers, a lot of other stuff. Stuff in the motherfucking chat. I still gotta do that better. Anybody wanna come in? What are we talking about? Let me see what this is. Let me see what they're saying on here.
A lot of young people are looking for the third eye. You want mystical experiences.
Okay.
We do acid.
Let me go ahead.
Go on troop trip.
I can't do anything like that anymore. Let's talk about, let's talk about freaking.
That can induce these mystical visions.
Let's talk about freaking stuff.
All
Let's talk about freaking,
even alcohol,
experiments in the ether.
reality,
You know.
and have a little bit of fun. But all
Let's talk about experiments in the ether.
eventually
Yo. All right, you're the first one. Let's go ahead and throw a card for you. Stay in there. Stay in there. Let's throw a card. Let's throw a card. You first one that came through. Let's do it. I just shuffle. So let's get that rocking. Let's get that rocking. All right. Mari Reyes. All right, here we go. Boom. Let's see what we got going on with you. Wow, you got the El Sol. You got the El Sol. Ray of mother freaking sunshine up in this mother freaker. Ray of sunshine for some odd reason. Let's see. And you got a it seems like you're just shining bright. You seem to be on a nice little high note right now in this new year so far. Kind of like you're the person that's everybody's watching. Look at this. Look at this. It's like you're here and like the shore, the beach is here, and everybody on shore. That's not necessarily people, but it seems like everybody's looking at you. You're just like a bright shining light right now in 2026. So congratulations to you. It seems like you have like a child kind of like spirit, or like you got a lot of got people putting their hands on you, like, yeah, you're good to be around. You're just shining your sunlight on everybody. So congratulations to you, freaking Maddie. Yeah, huh? Maybe, yeah, that's a great name too, right there. Great name right there. All right, what you got? DJ Must. Hey, oh my God, DJ Must. Hey, oh my God. Let's see what you're bringing into 2026. Let's see what's up. Let's see let's see what's going on with you. Booyah. Oh man, Reina de Oros we got going on right here. Hey, listen. You got a lot of stuff going on. It seems like you got some monitoring spirits around. There's a lot of things happening around. It seems like it could be some females, that's throwing some things around your way.
I made sure that it was enough.
it seems that
80 to 90%
just
of
a
the
lot of
lifestyle
like
was under my
you want some
control,
peace,
and
you want peaceful energies, but it seems that
circadian rhythm.
it
So the
just seems that
sunrise
you're always
and sunset
bombarded with a lot of different other things
sets
that's
at
going
different
on,
times. If you see all
you
animals
know.
living is obeying this law of nature,
But you seem that you
providing
have
humans have
a heart
no
that kind of
control
wants
over
to
it.
be
We are not part of it.
like nurtured, or you want to
We are
be.
separate
It's
from it.
like you want to stay focused and stuff, but it just seems that there's other things that's going on. You know, you may have some manipulation around you right now. That's what's going on. Yeah, hey, sorry. Hey, you know, sorry, DJs. You know, like I said, you know, you got some ladies around you right now that may be, you know, throwing some things. Yo, Deshin is 69. Let's see if you up in here. You up in here? Anybody else? Anybody else want to say something? You know, next person that chat, next person that says something, you'll get your card thrown. Next chat up in there. If it's gonna be not her or it's gonna be Dejines, hit that like, hit that subscribe, you guys. What's up to the channel? This is just a person that's, you know, that's been through the muck, guys. I've been from the East Coast to West Coast. I was from LA, came back to the East Coast, doing a lot of different things. Dancer, choreographer, personal trainer. I do a lot of other work and whatnot, spiritualist, naturopath, stuff like that. So anybody want to say what's up? Yo, Desjin, you still up in the house? You still up in there? Somebody get what you say. Say hello in the chat. What we got going on? Whoa, whoa, we got two of me here. We got the freaking 8 of Cups. We got the 9 of Wands right there. Listen, it seems that that you got to break out of some stuff. A lot of like webs and cobwebs going on around, but you know the only way to get out of that is to freaking break out. It seems like there's some spirit, some energy. Whoa, good. You see how that jumped out? It seems like some spirit or some energy is trying to hold you down, trying to hold you down, trying to freaking trying to have you dwell in the muck. But you know what? The only way to get out of that stuff is to freaking get the freak on out of the freaking the cell. You know, people, the prison. You know, you got to explode out of that. You know, that's the only way you're gonna make it out of what you're kind of dealing with right now. Don't let them put a bunch of cobwebs all into your mind. You notice how the webs are all up in the air. Don't let anybody cloud your mind. Yes, we all had a lot of chaos on the ground level. You know, maybe your root chakra needs some healing and whatnot. But honestly, you can really like burst out of that. Don't let anybody imprison your spirit with a bunch of tainting. You know, we all got we all got that inner light. So you got to let your light come out. Sometimes we have an issue with not letting our inner light come out. This is a world in which, you know, the third dimension here that, you know, it's all about trying to stop your light, you know, and that's why we get all this division and all this chaos going on. You see the stuff that's happening all over the place. And I try not to even pay attention to it, you know. I try not to pay attention to it. Hit that subscribe, you guys. Thank you very much for coming in. Next person coming in. Anybody want their tarot card? Want a card read? Anybody else still up in the house? Say what's up. Say what's up. You know, we got it rocking. We got it rocking. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I really appreciate it. Number 9 on the time right there. You know, in the completion. We are in the year of the 1, so I hear. We got it popping, you guys. Hopefully everybody's doing well. 911 right there in the time signature. Everybody doing well, right? Hopefully everybody's doing their thing. Let's see what we got going on with the spirits. Say hello, say hello, hello. What can we expect right there? Let me go ahead and just throw a nice little round, a 4 round for just everything that's popping off right now. Let's see what we got popping off right now. Oh, we got the 3 of Swords right now. You know, a time right now that we're looking at is it's a lot of uncertainty a little bit. You know, should we cut ties or should we keep it going? Should we cut ties? Oh, we got some Lena. You came in right at the time, so maybe this is for you. Should we cut ties? You know, maybe you got some decisions to make right now. You got some decisions to make. Maybe you're unclear about some things that's happening in your life. Let's dive into a little bit of that. You got to make a decision about something that's right now that's happening. Did you have a New Year's resolution that you did something that's not working out? Let's see what it says about that. All right, we got the freaking 9 of coins right there. Nice. Maybe this has to do with a partnership. Maybe it has to do with a business venture. But it is surrounded by the 9 of coins, so you may be coming in. If you step correctly, it could be very lucrative for you, the 9 of coins. I would like to say kind of you may be that it is really is up to you, because as you can see, you're the person that's in the forefront color and it's vibrant off of you. So I would say, you got a decision to make about how you're going to proceed with that. Let's see what else is going to say about what's going on. This card came up before, and it kind of means that you may have this this outwardly. In order for you really to be prosperous in these things, sometimes you can't wear these masks, because it kind of makes you untrustworthy. To a certain degree, we got to let those masks fall. And you see this person's hiding behind the mask, and it's like, man, who wants to really deal with people that's always got some kind of weird persona about them? We live in a world in which everybody wants to hide and put up these masks. Everybody's hiding their true selves and don't want to really come across as genuine. Because we need more ethical people. We need moral people. We need more people that'll be honest, not a bunch of narcissists coming through and doing a lot of crazy things in this world. Because I hear stories all the time. But let's go ahead and take it in. Look at it. There it is, deception right there. So we got that going on right there. So maybe that's why you have those masks up. Maybe you were deceived before, so now you're like, am I going to proceed? Maybe you're dealing with a couple. If it's a guy, you seem like I have a girl energy. Yeah, it seemed like you got some people that maybe you may be dating a couple people. You may got a decision to make. Maybe you've been hurt before. Maybe you're used to wearing these masks out for people, but it's like now it's like the time. Like I can understand too. It's like listen, I don't like to figure. I'm not intertwining myself with anybody, but for those that are going to intertwine themselves with people, you gotta freaking, you gotta cut those ties of past things sometimes. Yeah, we've all been hurt, but now so you gotta have that discernment. You can't be the fake person. Nobody got time for facades anymore. But with that discernment, you'll see that, hey, you can still look out and whatnot, but you look out for deceptions. We've all been deceived, and right now, look how big that block is right there. There's a lot of people still kind of like putting that out there a little bit, so you want to be really careful. You got to be really careful about people that are just like trying to stop your progression. See how that big block is right in that road? Where you trying to go? Where you trying to grow? Where you trying to go? Where you trying to grow? That's a major part. So you got some decisions to make. So thank you very much, Lena. Yeah. Big ups to you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Next. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, you guys. I just crossed over 100. Found out I got 102 subscribers now. You're very welcome. I'll throw it out there too. Anybody want to see my other channels and whatnot, you can also look it up. Empower You, that's you, the letter U, fitness brand. Empower You Fitness Brand, aka Hardcore Bus Studios. I don't be putting that out there too much, but anybody want to see the other stuff that I do as far as health and fitness and stuff like that, I got a few other channels. So yeah, Empower, EMPOWER, you, the letter U, fitness brand. Hardcore or Bus Studios. Check it out. Yeah, you guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you so very much. I think just crossed over 100 subscribers. We're throwing some tarots out there for the next chatter. Anybody, the next person that goes in the chat, you can get your cards read. I am an intuitive empath. I do feel a lot of things. I've done a lot of different work. I've done a lot of fasting. I've done a lot of meditations. I've done different modalities. I've done, I've done it all, you guys. I lived down in LA for a long time. I've done a lot of choreography work. I've done music videos. I've done a lot of dance stuff, choreography. I've done the Edge Dance Studios. I've done the Debbie Reynolds Studios. I've done the IDA. I've done the freaking Millennium Dance Complex before they moved on to Ventura. I've done it all. I lived in North Hollywood. I lived down on Melrose Place. I've lived up in Sun Valley. I've been around. So that's who I am. I'm a person that's done a lot of light work. I was out there in LA when Stephen Greer came out with his first movie out there. I saw it in West Hollywood about the Atacama Desert alien. I've done a lot of meditations at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've seen a lot of things and been through a lot of different things. So now I'm in a different portion of my life. I'm in holistic stuff. I'm trying to get another business stuff going on, but it's just one step at a time. I'm decluttering a lot of things, as you might notice on the channel. You can go through this channel and check out the different things I have going on here. I am from, I've had my trauma. I've been around traumatic things. I'm a person that's watched by higher levels of, I don't want to say certain things, but I'm a person that's under the microscope. So there's different terms that's going on right there, and it's fine. If they want to watch me, it's all good. Let's just say that, hey, I am who I am. So anybody that wants to jump in the chat, I'm going to say, what's up? Are you guys watching right now? What up? They could be down the street. They could be up the street. They could be over there. Hopefully everybody's well. This is who I am, whatever. We're just doing it up, right? Blessing to you, overall spirit of truth, only the purest of light coming in. Make sure you clear your energy, everyone. Do the best that you can daily. That's what we're talking about. And get my freaking, what's this one called? I forgot. But go ahead and do a little light. Third eye. Work your chakras. Cleanse out that pineal gland. Selenite, that's what it's called. Yeah, nobody put. Oh, yeah, we did it at the same time. All right, embracing. Yeah, let's see what you got for you. All right, let's see what's up. We had that at the same time. See how that goes? Wow. You see how that goes? Bam. Let's see what that is. Woo! Dominio. We got the Two of Wands right there. Look at that. You're on that path to success right there. What's going on with you? You seem like you got your it together. That's what it seems like. You got the two freaking towers right there. You're going through. You got the path going up into the light, to the nice house right there. And it doesn't matter what path you take. Right now, you kind of have that discernment in which it's like, listen, I already know where I'm going. And that's why we just channeled that at the same time. Yo. And it's like, you have a divine spirit about you. You really have a straightforward way of thinking. And if you're gonna go, if it don't matter if you go this way or this way, it doesn't matter, because you'll just work your path, your destination in which you're going to be successful. And it doesn't even mean monetarily. It doesn't necessarily mean materialistically, but you're successful as far as the auric energy of this particular dimension, of this light, of the prime creator. You've been blessed as far as your divinity walking the path. Now, at the same time, it's not like you're not going to have different challenges coming up to you. And, just as people that do have that particular glowy spirit, that, a life without challenges is kind of boring. And at the same time, creator needs to know that, listen, you got some things to learn, but you are protected. And trust that you're going to be doing the right thing. And I can feel that energy out of you also, because I'm sort of like that at the same time. It's not like we haven't had the trials and tribulations, but the path that you take is not going to be one of wastefulness. It's going to be in a point in which you are entrusted to a kingdom, in which other people should be looking at you, but you're going to get your haters. But at the same time, ultimately, you're going to be a person that has dominio over other things of light. And that's what it's all about. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yo, Butters, working hard. Yes, you're doing your thing too. Yeah. Thank you very much. I hear you. Check out some of the videos, man. Clearing out, decluttering, and that's a lot of stuff. It's about clearing feng shui energy, working with that chi, and just keeping it rocking. We all know the things that's why we have the shows like 600-Pound Life. That's why we have the shows like Hoarders Buried Alive. We know there's a lot of trauma on this planet, even though you don't want to see it and people don't want to admit it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and it's like, listen, just do the work, because listen, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah, all right. New or my old partner. Hey. All right, Yak Bob, let's do it up. Let's see what we got going on here. Bring in a nice wholesome light and see what's going on with your new relationship, because we got to keep that past stuff in the past. Like, listen, you can't bring nobody back. So it's like, listen, what do you want to see for yourself in this new alignment? What's going on with these new heads? What are they gonna bring to the table? What do you need to bring to the table? What do you need to bring to the mother freaking table up on this mother freaker? 1, 2, 3. Let's get an overall general. Oh my goodness. Good mugga. Good God. Look at that. Yeah, right there. Listen, it seemed like you kind of scared a little bit. You're kind of scared that, that you may get devoured by this person. You may get devoured by this person a little bit. But as you can see, you have your suitcase right there. So it's like you're looking at this person like, are you going to freaking just eat me like my past relationship? I got my bags. I'm ready to go to work. Listen, there's maybe some dental tools in there. Like, look at all those teeth. You may be willing to pull the teeth out of that monster, but at the same time, it's like, goddamn, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So, futility, whatever that mother freaking means. So, it's like you got some trauma in you. And it's like, oh man, it's this mother freaker snake. Oh, let's see what's a little bit more on that. Oh, you got to be trusting. Listen, you got to be trusting. And it looks like you're going to be, don't compare this new thing to your past thing. Listen, you gotta clear that stuff out. Don't be so judgmental, and maybe put the dagger down. No matter what the trauma, sometimes and I feel that too, because I've dealt with the traumas and stuff like that, but you can't carry it with you. You really can't. You got to let that go. And sometimes you got to walk into things like it's all anew. And you got that master number 11 right there. So, that's what it is. And nobody likes to be judged based on other people's mistakes. It's like, listen, I'm not that person, but at the same time, you got the sword right there. And, so it is what it is. Remember, you got to be, don't take it with you. Let's say ultimately, though. Ultimately, you got the master number 10. Just be mindful of this situation. Go into it with some good luck charming. You might want to give yourself a reminder to not judge and to not look at this person as a demon. Maybe wear some sort of bracelet or protective energy for yourself. And at the same time, covet that energy of enlightenment. See how you have this border around. Stay pure. Don't let fear or judgment change who you are in this new relationship, because that stuff has a taint, has a smell, and nobody wants to be a part of that. Be mindful. Hold your space. Don't be having open areas that somebody can come in and do stuff, but don't judge new things based on the past. Yeah, there you go, right there. Hopefully that was helpful to you. I should divorce Ron. Listen, divorce is a major freaking thing, and like if you got a new relationship going, you've already divorced. Sometimes I come across people that may be still together, but they are already separated mentally. You just don't show up for the person anymore. You stop showing up in a relationship. That's already a divorce. You already broke up with the person, but you stop showing up for the person. You don't give up no more. You already broke up with that person, so it is a divorce already. So you already made your choice. You just have to implement it with it. See, and that's the thing. Sometimes people don't want to realize what all that means. Well, you're not gonna get the perks no more. Don't use that person for perks. If you're not gonna do something, then hey, cut it off and let people. That's the thing about that's like I don't want to intertwine myself with other people because it's like, okay, I don't want to bring my shit to you. Don't bring your shit to me either. And that's what people. So who am I going to date next? Like, listen, who am I going to date next? Why do you think that person that doesn't know who you are want to be mixed up with all your garbage? And that's the thing about energy. We're taking this stuff into other people's zones. Why are you going to do that to somebody? Leave them alone. Work on yourself. What haven't you done for yourself that needs some cultivation? What are you going to bring to the table? Have you mastered a couple different meals? Do you know how to keep your auric cleansed? Have you done any fasting before? Do you clean? Hey, is that all good? What kind of stuff do you know? Have you started a garden? What are you going to bring to the table? You're just looking for a free meal, Same thing for the guys. Guys, what are you guys going to bring to the table? You want somebody to do your laundry for you? No, you're supposed to be doing your own things. And we need to cultivate that stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Hit that like, hit the subscribe. Thank you very much. You can check out my other channel if you guys are into fitness. I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers so I can do some live dance and live fitness classes. It's at Empower, like empowering yourself. Empower You, the letter U, fitness brand, aka Hardcore Bus Studios. I got 2 channels. But Empower You Fitness Brand. You can freaking check that out. You're very welcome. Hey, be blessed. Be blessed. Every day, you wake up, like, what is that guy? C-Fellow, whatever. He's like a cannabis guy. He's like, hey, be blessed. You woke up, you blessed. You woke up, you blessed. And then you want to thank the prime creator every time you get up. Like, listen, what? Did I make it through? I made it through. Because when the nighttime comes, you never know what type of energy you're dealing with. Oh, my God. I feel it all the time. Especially you're like one of the ones that are like, people looking at. I just saw this thing on Billy Corgan, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. He was like, he's been in rooms in which, with government agents trying to get him to do stuff. Like, listen, what's that? Oh. Look at that. I was just talking about that. 4 coins with the person sitting right in the middle. That's a person sitting in a chair right there. Listen. Big boss chilling out right there. Anybody got the big boss going on? Hey, thank you very much, Yayafully. Listen, things are powerful. Things are powerful in the way right now. Listen, people always they're sitting back. People utilizing other people a lot. Looking for power and to use that power. It's crazy. I stopped and got some Krispy Kreme donuts today. I only got 2 of them. I only ate 1 of them so far. But it's like, man, I was thinking all day. I went a few days without drinking any coffee. And man, you don't do caffeine. It's like, man, you get caffeine back in your system. You just get boom. You just get hit. It's like, man, I was thinking about it every day not having coffee. Because when I run out of coffee, it's like I don't go get more coffee. And it's like, man, I was going to stop at one point in time and get it. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I turned around and didn't go and get it. But then on the way home, I was like, let me get a cup of coffee. And then, like, I got creamer that wasn't good. But the coffee was fine. But at the same time, then I went and did a workout. And it's like, man, but you get that stuff back in your system. It's like, good God. Like, it's like eating sometimes at night. I eat late and it's like I have crazy dreams because so much is going on. And that's the thing about you guys. We have different vices sometimes. You guys ever notice this? growing up and whatnot, you go out drinking with your friends, things that honky dory, unless you come through from traumatic stuff and you use drinking or smoking or some whatever you're doing as a way as a getting out of it. I watched this one podcast, the Straight Jacket podcast. They talk about how people have gone off on the rails, so much stuff, meth, fentanyl, alcohol, raving, just chaos. And I'm like, man, lucky I haven't gone through all that. I've had my little run-ins with some crazy stuff. I haven't gotten into too much trouble. Thank God I've avoided a lot of things. But at the same time, hey, that's why, whatever. But it's like, sometimes you don't have any care in the world. You can find yourself, abusing, aka enjoying being out of this world. Like, I can't take any psychedelics really right now. I can't smoke weed right now, and I haven't smoked in a while now. I can't do that stuff. And even coffee, like I've been pretty much sober for like a month and a half, 2 months. And it's like, I can't even delve into that stuff because first of all, I got too much stuff on my plate. When you're younger and you got it, your parents seem to be doing fine, you just out trying to hang, you're not a care in the world, you're hanging out with your friends that you think they're your friends, but they're not. And it's like, okay. But then after you find out some things, it's like, shit, I can't even drink. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink. I can't, I can't do it. I can't do it. Yo, yeah. It's too fast. Embrace. Yo, thank you. Were you in here earlier? I think you were in here earlier. Are you in? Yeah, and I read your cards already. Yeah, and it's like, man, you just can't do it. I can't go into those realms because it's like, fudge, you really get to see what you got to work with. Cause I think I've done it already enough. I've done it enough. And now it's like, if anything, I wouldn't mind working in a dispensary, and I am trying to get into more CBD stuff, cause it's legal. But it's like, also like into like making my own products. But it's like, man, right now I need my mind to be straightforward sober, and now all the stuff's coming out with, how bad alcohol is. It's like people still, it's funny when I see people that's older than me and they're like, oh, they're drinking, they're drunk. I'm like, fuck, I can't even do it. I can't even drink, I can't do it, and at the same time, I'm really enjoying my sobriety. And it's like, but at the same time, every day it's a mother freaking challenge. Every day. It's like you wake up, it's another day of this. Okay, well, what things that you got to take care of? How is your house in order? Is your apartment in order? And guys, like, I lived in LA. I moved 10 times in LA from having a couple of roommates that I knew, falling out with them things. Another roommate, through lockdowns, even through the 2008 crash. I lived in freaking North Hollywood off of Woodman not Woodman, but Moore Park. And I had to jump into this little one. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. I lived in one of the bedrooms because they needed a person in 2008. I had to leave out my junior bedroom, living with 3 other people, a couple, and one person lived out in the living room. Made it through that. Only other time I was on government assistance. And I was just in LA. And then I went and lived in this living room of this girl that was also a dancer I knew, and she needed some help with her rent and stuff like that. I'm like, listen, I need a place. And then I started living with this guy named Caesar Caprice. He's a rapper, good friend of mine that I was serving with at this cafe in Universal City Walk. And we would just blaze cannabis, and we doing freestyling. We did a lot of stuff, actually. We did shows in Vegas. He's an awesome MC. Actually, you can look him up, Caesar Caprice. I don't mind putting his name out there, and he's still out in LA and whatnot. And it's like, we've done a lot of stuff, but then from that, I went on. We actually got an apartment in Studio City, right off of freaking Riverside in Laurel Canyon. I live right there, next to the grocery store. I forgot the name of the grocery store right there, Glen something. I'm not sure, but I did a lot of stuff there, and it is what it is. And that was some crazy times, but ultimately getting my own studio again. I started working at this gym, and from then, because I've studied health fitness, and I've gotten certified trainers. I worked with Madonna Grimes, who was a former fitness champion. and dancer choreographer out in LA. I used to watch her on growing up in magazines, the co-ed body shaping with Kiana Tom and all of them. I met a couple. I worked with Madonna Grimes. I did a lot of pageants with her, her classes. I taught with her out in, just one time, one or two times. I helped her with a class that she was doing in the Burbank Warner Brothers Studios. But also rest in peace Madonna Grimes, because she actually came down with the big C and she didn't make it. But we all go through a lot of different things, y'all, and you know, we just keep grinding, and you know, we all go through different trauma. And hey, I've been through a lot of stuff, and you know, there's different terms that's going on out there. There, you know, it's just crazy. I can't. Yeah, I don't drink, smoke some. I hear that. Just got my own camper this year. Wow. What am I from work? I mean, and with her, yeah. I mean, it's been nice. Yeah, you know what? It really helps out when you can vibe with a person. When you got a partner in crime, a PNC. I used to say that all the time. When you got a PNC, it's cool because like, man, you can come home and talk to somebody. You can be vibing with somebody. You know, you can do stuff with another person. And man, when you're in life in dolo solo, it's like, man, when I was in LA, like minus when I had to get rid of my friends and stuff, because ultimately they weren't good for me. I just went to work. I taught fitness classes. I trained clients, and I trained a lot of clients. I did dance gigs for the mainly Jewish community, Persians. I did a lot of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs out in LA. I've done over 100 bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. I'm on so many videos of kids at their bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. And these places, this is when I first got introduced to like, wow, in LA, Westlake Village, Beverly Hills, down Newport Beach, Studio City, Encino. I've done gigs all over freaking Southern California, and I'm on everybody's videos. And it's like, man, I got introduced to that Beverly Hills Hotel, the Mr. C Hotel. I've done, you know, Sunset. I've done it all. The Cultural Center, Skirball Cultural Center off of the freaking 101, not the 101, 405. I've done it all. I've done so much. And it's like, I've seen like, man, you go into these places and it's just like, wow. It's amazing. It really is. It's like, so, and that's my first introduction to bar mitzvah. I didn't even know, but I was a choreographer. I'm a choreographer, a dancer, and I led 2 different companies. And really, yeah, she a PNC, yeah, you know, and you just have to respect that. Hopefully, you guys respect each other and living life for each other at the same time, and appreciating. Like, you know, that's the thing. I wake up every day and I'm just very appreciative of things, because sometimes people don't understand that, you know, things could be worse, you know, because I've done it, like self-employed in LA, going through lockdowns by myself. Like, I had to train people outside. Lucky I built up a clientele that when lockdowns hit, they were like, listen, you train me at the park, yeah. And then I started doing dumbbell fitness classes outside on Victory Boulevard and Vineland at the rec studio in front of the Target at the rec center, free, just tip. And lucky I built up a clientele that's like, listen, I'm teaching classes for those that want to keep their fitness going on through this lockdown. You know, just come over there. You tip me whatever you want. And I was able to pay my rent from doing classes like that, and there's a lot of other stuff that went along with it, but. You know, I wasn't asking the government for no help. I didn't get no government assistance except for those stimulus things. And lucky you paid your taxes to get them. Nobody's asking me for rent past due. You know, nobody's chasing me down. And it's like, thank God. And every day I was just so appreciative, getting up, doing the work. And I have videos about that too. On my channel, you can check out my fitness channel at Empower, EMPOWERU, the letter U, fitness brand. I actually started a little thing on Big Cartel, but Empower You Fitness Brand. Also, I have Hardcore or Bust Studios. That's when that's my hardcore bust. You got to go hardcore in this life. You got to get the bust on out of here. And that's all through my fitness stuff. That's always been like that. I got 2 channels. So go over there and hit that subscribe. I'm trying to get the 50 subscribers on the Empower You fitness brand, because once I get 50, I can go live, and I want to start doing live fitness classes, because right now, like, I left LA in 2022. I had to get out of there. I was trying to leave in 2020, but some crazy stuff happened. You know, they know what happened. But I stayed there, you know, minus the lockdowns. But I wasn't able to. My car was busted, and some other stuff started happening. But it's okay, because, you know, the gym I worked at, we moved gyms again, unpaid, but whatever. But I built up my clientele and my class again there, and I started going live on YouTube in like 2021 and 2022. And like, I wasn't even getting paid for my classes, you guys. And what I did was, like, I started making juices. I would go to the Vallarta, go to the Food for Less, buy all the fruits and vegetables, celery, everything. And I started making ginger shots, juices, and I would go teach class for an hour. And then afterwards, I would have the GTS bottles, and that I used to drink a lot of kombucha. I would sterilize them, and I would pour the juices in there and put my logo on the juices. I would put my logo. This is my logo. I would take these cards that I had from a class that I started teaching called Rise and Reps. And here it is, Valley Fitness Center, 7630 Violin Avenue, Sun Valley, California. I was doing classes right before lockdowns, right before. But I would take those flyers that I had, and I would wrap them around the bottles, and I would sell the bottles after class. After teaching class for an hour, I would sell the juices, and I was able to pay rent with my clients also that I had. But it's crazy. I bet that was such an amazing ride, and she has the rights to speak to the. She can speak for me if I can't. Thanks. Yo, likewise. You know, it's always good to connect with heads, because listen, I'm kind of dolo around, and you know, we all been through different trauma, and you know, the closest people will not be there for you, or they'll do some things to you, and that's why you gotta be really careful out here. You always hear stories of stuff, you know, rich people getting set up for things, and they have programs going on, but I'm not even going to delve into it, because you know, you think about certain things, that just gives it power. I was like looking at some podcasts that people talk about certain things like that, and like the other day, I just went and deleted or unsubscribed to some of them that just talked about it, And I'm like, you know what? I don't care if people want to spy on me. I don't care if people want to follow me. I don't care if they're trying to videotape me, where I go and what I'm doing. You know, and it's all because of what, you know, people that don't like you from the past, and maybe I sold some stuff before to my friend, you know, but I wasn't out selling intentionally out to people. I never sold drugs. I never done anything intentionally malicious stuff out there. I'm not hurting anybody, and it's like, well, you know, maybe I bought some you know, fungi to cultivate, but I'm not selling anything. And things got decriminalized, you know, and based on state stuff, you can grow 2 plants per adult in a household. I don't have a big grow going on. I don't do anything, but you know what? We live in a world in which we have technology that can find out, oh, you bought that, and we're going to find out, well, let's follow you, or let's use this technology to see if you're meeting anybody, or let's see what you're doing. And it's like, listen, I ain't doing nothing. I'm not about doing anything. I'm about spirituality and doing stuff. But you know what? If you meditate too much, you know, and you may be outside in LA when it's warm at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I'm not going to say anything. You know, like I say, there's a lot of things in this world that people don't understand, and it is what it is. But it's also like, okay, well, where did you come from? What is this all about? Like, who are you? We're all a mystery to a certain degree, and it depends on what you want. But you know what? I don't want to do anything. I just want to freaking I just like to cleanse. I like to do juices, and I want to go make my own products. I like to pay taxes. If you got enough money to pay taxes, you're doing something right. I'm not into politics. I'm not into religion. I'm not into that stuff. And it's like, hey, people always think that people are about bad things. I'm not about bad things. Other people can sell whatever they want to sell. I'm not into it. You know, I'm not into materialism. This sweatshirt is something I got from one of those dance gigs I did. And wherever I go, people love it. Yeah, it's not about that. Hey, I'm going to smoke my little THCA or my CBD. Hey, listen, I don't even like to use I like to use hemp wraps if I did smoke. I don't really like to use tobacco wraps because it's too much chemicals. Use joint papers. And I haven't done that. And it's like, I went up to the store that I was getting buying my hemp wraps from, because I was getting the juices, I was getting the stuff that was hemp stuff. And actually, when I first kind of came around, they sold pre-rolls too. They had the THCA isolate on the outside, crystals, some diamonds and stuff like that. But I haven't gotten in there because I grew a couple of my own plants or whatever. And what was I going to say? I don't even know. But it's like, you just do it on your own. I like to use my own, use hemp wraps. I didn't want to use tobacco stuff. What was it? I was using what? I've still got one that was here. Blunt Vias. These are pretty cool. It is what it is. So, whatever. You just got to go one step at a time in this world. Hopefully I didn't say too much, But like and subscribe, Empower You Fitness brand also. Hardcore Bus Studios. I'm getting a lot of dance. I've done choreography. I've done videos. I've done, not no big time videos, but, here and there. I also do comedy. So I'll be doing some live comedy. You guys want to check out my comedy channel. It's at Pimp Daddy Charles, a.k.a. the PDC Yap on YouTube. Pimp Daddy Charles Comedy. Pimp Daddy Charles. So if you guys want to subscribe over there, I got a channel of that also. Yeah, what you cooking? I got into making my own pizzas. I kind of want to do that, but that means I had to go buy some more flour and some more sauce and whatnot, and some cheese. And then I was like, well, should I buy that stuff? I didn't really feel like making the dough and rolling it all out and doing that. I kind of was going to get like a DiGiorno deep crust and do it up. But then I was like, you know what? Right now I'm going through so much kind of trauma right now. There's a lot of things that's going on in my life. And it's like, you know what? What am I going to do? Go get a pizza for what? And like, I can make some lentils. I just had some cucumber and hummus. Listen, I'm like real, most of the time I'm vegetarian, vegan. And it's like, and I do a lot of fasting. I eat fruits. And it's like, do a lot of lifting. I did a major workout, You know what? I could put the link in the thing. But I was like, why am I going to get a pizza? What you cooking? Yeah, Pimp Daddy Charles. Oh, venison and mashed potatoes. Do that. Well, venison is deer, isn't it? That's that's the first time I ever heard of venison when I was watching that one HBO show. What is it called again? They had the Cole and the girl that she was the girl that had the antidote. What was it called? I had the video game. You remember? What's the name of that HBO show they made off the video game? I can't remember. Yeah. What does deer taste like? There's always some deer in the neighborhood all the time, coming through. I go outside and there'd be deer sitting in the lawn, in the yard. I'm happy to have like living in a place that actually has a yard. Like in LA, all the 10 places I've been, it was all apartments and whatnot. And it's nice to like, you go back. And that's the thing about being appreciative of certain things. And since I've been here, I planted gardens. I've grown my own food for every summer. I've grown so much. I've grown my own watermelon. I've grown cantaloupe. I've grown cucumbers, tomatoes. I made it through last summer, like really, because like, sometimes people, I'm kind of like trying to get people healthy and do certain things, for the fam and whatnot. And it's like, sometimes people don't want to do it. And they think like, well, I'll wait for you to cook stuff. I'll wait for you to do this. And it's like, listen, I'll just go outside and I'll just eat my cherry tomatoes off my tree. I'll make some pickles, listen, you gotta survive off your garden sometimes. You know, I grew and now I tried to grow potatoes a couple times. I've grown a lot of stuff. I have a channel actually about growing stuff that you can see a lot of the things on there. Actually, even on this channel, you probably see some of my garden stuff. Yep, it's red meat, not fatty, y'all. Oh, earthy, huh? Yeah, kind of gamey because deer are muscular. Yes, I had a garden 2 years ago. Yeah, yeah. You know, gardening it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm trying to get into some microgreens now, but it is difficult. I love growing the herbs, cilantro, basil. Basil is really easy to grow. I grew a bunch of parsley. But yeah, it's people think it's, you know, I think if you have a really, you know, fertile soil and you're in a warmer climate, you can get things going. If you live down in Florida, you obviously there Georgia, something like that, and you know, California, you know, you'll be able to have a nice garden year round. I look at Cali Kim and California Gardener. Even like this one guy that lives in I think is where does he live in? Australia. Sufficient Me, Self-Sufficient Me. What's his name? He has an accent. That was kind of a southern accent. I forgot his name, but they really helped me out a lot when I first started gardening. Yeah, I hear that. It is rough, but man, I want to get a couple fruit trees. I grew an apple tree, but it only got that big, and just recently it lost its leaves. But I think it's because it's wintertime. So I still have it, and hopefully when springtime comes back around, it starts sprouting its leaves. What? You know what? I got some dried strawberries right now. I got to pop the seeds off of them. I want to grow some strawberries so bad. And I just saved some blackberry seeds. That'd be so good. I want those so bad, and I hear that. Hell yeah. True that. That's the one thing about gardening. Those like the things that will seem like they die, but they won't. They just come back next season. And man, if I can get some fruit trees, that's the thing. If everybody had a fruit tree in their yard, a couple of fruit trees, that's the thing about California, man. Man, sometimes you got the citrus trees. People have orange trees in their yard, lemon trees. Right in the last place I lived, the guest house I lived for the last 5 years before I left. Right on, it wasn't in our backyard, but the people that live next to it, live in their little guest house. They had a pomegranate tree and some other stuff going on there, and they gave me a couple of pomegranates one time. But the house that was right past the fence, they had a lemon tree, and the lemon tree, one of the branches would come over onto my side, and I would get up, and I'm like, I had to get their lemons. I would get a rope and tie it and try to pull a branch. So many lemons I got off that lemon tree, and I was making those juices, and I'd be like, man, I need some lemon. I go outside. Yes, and I think it fruited twice a year, so it was so cool. I was so happy about that. A pecan tree, hell yeah! It was nice to get a nut tree. That is what I'm talking about. You get those things, and you don't gotta worry about food. That's the thing. You got a fruit tree, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You plant some potatoes, you plant some carrots. You got a fruit tree, you plant some herbs. Cucumbers are easy. Tomatoes are easy to grow. Listen. And then it's like you can make your own potato chips. You can make your own plantain chips or whatever you want to do. You know? People think it's that hard. It's hard as far as you got to do the work. You know? You got to know about, you know, planting and tilling. And if you got bugs around, you're like, listen, you know, those larvae will take you know, especially greens. You know? And then you also have to worry about disease and things falling out of the air, if you know what I'm talking about. That's messing up different leaves, and heat stuff. It gets too hot, yeah, you know, heat shock for your plants. That'll kill your plant real quick. Over fertilization, that'll kill your plant real quick. So it is a nuance. You gotta learn how to grow, just like growing your own CBD. Listen, I don't gotta grow, like I don't got a big grow going on. You know, I'm trying to grow a couple plants right now. You know, and one of them is CBD plant, and it's like. That's the thing. And I'm even thinking right now, man, even if I can cultivate that, because I've grown a couple already, it's like, even if I cultivate that, am I even going to be utilizing it? I don't know if I want to smoke it. If I am going to blaze it, though, it's like, at least I grew it myself. And that's what people always want to talk about. It's like, you're going out and smoking weed. It's like, listen, if I'm going to smoke some weed, it's stuff that I grew myself organically. I grew it. It took me 4 months to grow this. Are you growing your pills? No. I had to cultivate this seed into a plant, feed it, nurture it flip it into flour, grow it, harvest it, dry it, cure it. And then I get to have some of it as medicinal, for my body and my mind and my meditations or whatever it is. I'm just not going out buying stuff and And if I did, hopefully you get some organic stuff and hopefully you get, I'm really getting more into outdoor stuff, but whatever, say whatever you want. And until I grow my own, I'm not smoking anything. I'm sober. So you're out drinking beer and drinking shots and I'm not drinking anything. So that's why nobody can say anything. Get out of my face. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not going out. And actually, full stop. Like, I don't mingle with nobody, and I don't look at freaking anything as far as degenerate things. I'm really kind of straight edge. And it's because of a lot of cultivation. I've seen too much already. I've seen too much. I've been through too much. I've already been, I've seen too much. And I've been through a lot already. I didn't have to freaking poison myself to that degree in which, I got tracks up and down my arm or, a lot of waking up on the bus stop. But at the same time, I've been out on my own. I didn't have parents that were coming home to my house oh, I'm hanging out in my house with my parents taking my adults, living in the basement playing video games. No, I was freaking out. I was, I went to school and then I was gone. So it's but I've always been like we said, like the Two of Wands you had. It's no matter what the journey is, you kind of know, listen, I'm not going to veer off the path of being truthful to myself. I'm not going to get into too much chaos. I'm going to be wholesome. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can eat dandelions. Yep. Yeah, you know what? Man, so funny you say that. I wanted to do that because there's a lot of dandelions that be popping up. And I wanted to actually do that, eat dandelions and fry them up. Yep. And juice the leaves. Yep. I want to do that. Maybe I'll do that next spring, summer. I'm going to try that. So let's give one more freaking reading for coming up for this spring, summer. Let's take that one. That one. Yeah. Oh man, what a day it's been, Love yourself. Hold that inner child, Hold that inner child. The only reason you could see that in the card for me is because you've achieved very much the same thing. You've done a lot to get where you are, and you can recognize it for booyah. Thank you. You know it. The inner child is what we always got to embrace. Be nurturing. Don't forget to nurture. Don't forget to nurture. Yes, no matter what the pathway, by land, by sea, or by air, we're all headed towards the light, no matter what. So just take get there. Get there. Yes. Two of coins right there. We got it rocking, from land and sea. Cultivate everything you can. Cultivate. Get that destination going on. It is about change, about metamorphosizing. It's about alchemy. From solids to liquids to gases to plasma. It's about the luminaries in the sky. Booyah. Hey, there you go right there. Love each other. You got your PNC right there. Love each other. Make sure you stay wholesome with each other right there. We got that popping right there. The Las Enamoradas. We got that popping right there. The lovers. That's the truth. That's why we have, man and woman coming together. That's what it's all about. It's, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Master number 11, the 2 temples. Boom, right there. And our special card right there for holism. Oh yes, right there. Look at that. The 6 of Wands. We got a popping. Success, victory, clear, breakthrough. That is what we're talking about. We already broke through these mountains right there. And right there at 2%, my phone's about to cut off. We got the road to divinity. We've done the work in the mind. We have the Mount Olympus all the way far in the back. We're going to the mountaintop. So I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in, like and subscribing to my channel. I want to bless everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much. Embracing, no doubt. Love that. That's what I've been seeing, calling on. Thank you. No doubt. Namentes, we're going out. So thank you very much, everybody. Hit it up. Don't forget my fitness and health channel, Empower You Fitness Brand. My comedy, also aka Hardcore Bus Studios. I got 2 fit channels. Also my comedy at Pimp Daddy Charles. It's at PDC Yap, but you can just type in Pimp Daddy Charles and you'll see it. Thank you very much, everybody. Tune in. I'll be going live a little bit more. Thanks very much for over 100 subscribers so far. Peace out. Butters.